Welcome back everybody to another pomade review, and today we'll be taking a look at another lab-made oil-based pomade, and our pomade for today is Schmiere Hart, the Sun Records Legends, the King Edition, just in time for Elvis Week. And obviously this pomade pays tribute to Elvis Presley and the Sun Records Legends series over here by Schmiere. They pay tribute to the rockabilly musicians who recorded at Sun Records. There's the medium hold, which pays tribute to the record label itself, and there's the Knuppel Heart, which is the extra heavy, that pays tribute to Johnny Cash, and this one, the standard heavy, is a tribute to Elvis Presley, obviously. This one comes in a sturdy metal container, just like all the other Schmiere oil-based pomades, and this one is petroleum based. And just like all the other Schmiere oil-based pomades, you would find some standard ingredients you would find in a typical oil-based pomade, like petro and micro wax, while it also contains some unusual chemicals you wouldn't find in most other oil-based pomades, and that's to help with the washout of the pomade itself. Now if we open it up, you would notice a pretty subtle sweet vanilla scent, which is definitely, it's not overwhelming, which is a good thing, and the pomade itself looks very white, unlike the regular Heart by Schmiere, which is more of a yellow color. And you can tell this looks pretty soft for a heavy. And this pomade was actually given to me by Bram, the former student barber that I talked about in my previous videos. And my last haircut actually was exactly last week by the time I shot this video, and I did it at the famous Skorum barbershop where Roosevelt was born, you know, in Rotterdam. Absolutely amazing cut, and they obviously did a long-term pompadour. So enough chit-chat, let's get to the pomade right over here. So there's no difference in this one at all to the regular version, except for obviously the packaging, the color, and the scent. The scent is for the original has more of a lemon, citrusy kind of scent, while this one is more of a sweet vanilla. Now scooping it out, it's pretty soft for a heavy. It doesn't feel too chunky. You would feel some greasiness, and you wouldn't feel so much of that hard to scoop out waxiness whatsoever, and this is due to the micro wax content in there. Because usually beeswax is what gives the really hard texture and difficult to scoop out feature of a lot of heavier oil-based pomades, but this one is absolutely free of beeswax and micro wax, the main wax ingredient over here, which is petroleum derived. So it works really, really nicely with petroleum jelly, and it just gives that nice soft scoop with that oily feel. As you can tell, applying the damp hair really is not a hassle at all. There's no tug and pull as long as you don't add too much. You would definitely feel a bit of that heavy type resistance. You would know that it's heavy. I'm sweating right now. Oh my god, it's so hot. Yeah, it's really hot out here. Taking a second scoop right now. And this is why I'm reviewing heavier holding pomades. The heat, it's 31 degrees Celsius out today. It was 34 yesterday. Well, yeah, you would tell that as you apply the pomade in, it really is not bad at all. It's one of the easier heavy hold pomades to apply to your hair. Drop the pomade onto my sink. So clumsy sometimes. But I'll take one last scoop of the pomade and apply it to the sides and the back for the ducktail. And that'll be enough pomade in the hair for today. So you can tell I have a little bit of shine over here. The shine is a little more than you would expect for a pretty standard heavy. You would see a little bit of greasy shine, and again, that's because micro wax is one of those other petroleum derived waxes, while beeswax tends to nullify the shine a little more. So the shine in this one isn't too bad. It's somewhere between low to medium. Definitely not bad at all. or anything close to neutral, you would see sort of at least some kind of luster in there. Now, tucking it back, I can even say that there's some medium hold pomades out there which actually have more resistance than this one. This one just has a really nice amount of resistance. You would know that it's a higher holding one, but it's definitely not ridiculous in terms of resistance at all. One of the easiest heavy holds to manage. So you can tell my sides are being held really nicely and it's super slick. And now it's time to form the pomp itself. You can see that the control is a slick control and gives a really good amount of control over here. And I can style my pomp really, really easily with a nice shape and height. Everything is just really slick on the sides, as you can tell. Gonna push it a little more forward and then we're almost done. That's really, really quick styling, as you can tell. Control in this one is super slick and absolutely amazing. And the scent is almost unnoticeable as well. It's a very, very subtle scent. Now I guess we can call that done, and I'll show how it looks in my hair right now. So you can tell there's a good amount of height in there, really nice round and forward shape, not the most perfect pomp, but that was really quick styling, but still, having a pomp like this under such a short amount of time shows that it has amazing control. Now, when it comes to the washout on this stuff, sorry, I just need to wipe the sweat out, so I'm getting really sweaty. I mean, it does wash out a little easier compared to some heavy pomades I've tried, but really, the buildup is definitely not clean, and given that this one the greasy heavy, so it would have that gross, sticky buildup kind of feel, and while it's not as super chunky as other heavy pomades with a large amount of wax, this one still has more of that almost slimy feel of buildups. It's kind of a little filthy in terms of its buildup, but still you would expect a slicker hairstyle as the week progresses, as you apply more, if you style with it on buildup. And I could just point this out as an Elvis fan myself right here. The side of the can, you have a reference to a line from the song Blue Suede Shoes. You can do anything but stay off my blue suede shoes. Well, honestly, this kind of bothers me a little bit because Blue Suede Shoes is actually a Carl Perkins song. I mean, Elvis did popularize it somehow, but to me, it'll always be a Carl Perkins number. And furthermore, Blue Suede Shoes was recorded during Elvis's RCA sessions and not. He did not record that song during his Sun record days, so I believe they could have at least maybe inserted a song from his Sun record sessions, such as That's Alright or Good Rockin' Tonight, but instead they just put a Carl Perkins song from Elvis RCA sessions on the side of the can over here. And given that this is by Rumble 59, a well-known German rockabilly clothing company, I expected a little better, to be honest, but the pomade itself though performs pretty well, and my final verdict on this one, this is not really like other heavies in the way that it styles. It's a pleasure to style with. It's very slick, and I just like the amount of control and how easy it is to control your hair with it, and that it's not super, super waxy while still being able to actually hold your hair throughout the day. I'd say the hold on it is a true heavy. If you use Lockhart's Goon Grease, it's somewhere a notch above Goon Grease. But obviously it's a notch, it's still below the Knuppel Hart. Now comparing it to the Schmiere Knuppel Hart, The Schmiere Hart isn't, I said in my review of it that it's not what I expected for a super heavy. It's not really what I would call the domain of a super heavy, even though it holds a little more than a standard heavy, but this one is pretty much a notch below the super heavy. But overall, it's a pomade that styles really nicely, and I get amazing results with it. I never get a bad hair day with it. My only issue is just the feeling of buildup, really, and I obviously complained about the little Elvis reference, Carl Perkins Elvis reference thing on the side of the tin. But overall, Schmiere Hart itself, we're not talking about the Sun Records edition because it's pretty much the same thing. Schmiere Hart itself is one of the better lab-made pomades I've actually used. I prefer it over the Russell Pink, in my opinion, to be honest. And that's it for my review today. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe to this channel, click on the bell icon so you don't miss a single upload to Squinty Show, and see you next time on the Squinty Show.